Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and I'm gonna keep this video short. I did an initial recording that went into like all the details so that people like really know what's going on and like how long it's gonna take and stuff, but really I'm just gonna get to the point, which is the US Postal Service is having massive, widespread countrywide delays and like stuff going missing and just all this stuff, and it's for multiple different reasons, which is why I would not order magic cards for quite some time now. We're talking probably 2021. And it's not a coincidence that that's after the election. So reason number one, initially Trump was like, oh, the US Postal Service is losing money. He's been saying this like ever since, I think before he was even elected. He's like, I'm going to make the post office profitable because that's what I do. I fix businesses. Yeah, it loses money on purpose. Like they spend like $50 to drive one letter out to some guy out in rural wherever because like, guess what? Every American needs to get mail. It's like the census, the Department of Revenue, your tax returns, mailing you a driver's license. I just mentioned a bunch of state stuff, but it's not like a human right or like a utility level that you have to get mail. Well, actually, they do equate it roughly to utility now that I think about it, law-wise. And it's like, if you screw with somebody's mail, like steal it, interfere with it, open it, it's a felony. I mean, you steal somebody's like FedEx delivered Amazon package off their, front porch is worth $50. That's like a misdemeanor. But yeah, you don't mess with the mail. Like it's you gotta get stuff in the mail from the government. It's how they communicate with you no matter what. They aren't gonna switch to like freaking email addresses. So the mail is super important. If it loses money, good. It's basically a public service, if not literally a public service. And unless you live in like the ass crack middle of nowhere, Alaska or something, they're going to deliver to your town. And even then they just make you, let's be honest, fly your plane into the post office to pick up your mail like once a month or something. But either way, like everybody who lives at a valid address is entitled to get mail. So that's why it loses, I think, $4, $5, $6 billion a year or whatever. Oh, well, get over it, Trump. It's not going to be profitable unless you double the prices. But he threatened to double the prices, and everyone was like, you're an idiot. And he is. So there's nothing to fix here. So it started as, well, I'm going to, say no more overtime. No more like doing this in this order just because it's nicer and more convenient. We're going to do it in the more efficient way, like in order as far as like sorting and when they deliver stuff. And so some stuff is getting delayed a day and like whatever, and people are grumbling, but it's like whatever. It was somewhat reasonable cost savings until it became a thing about mail-in ballots, where now he's just every penny he can take away from them, everything's getting denied. The answer is always no, because they're like, hey, if we're gonna handle a bunch of mail-in ballots because COVID, we're gonna need like Black Friday, Christmas shopping delivery levels of additional staff. And he's like, well, you're gonna get exactly nothing, and also I'm cutting your overtime and your hours. Because he really doesn't want massive voter fraud, because then it's like the Supreme Court steps in, we get a whole Al Gore versus Bush thing or whatever the hell election that was, where they're like, well, this Florida dumbass, it was all Florida, by the way, look it up. They filled out their ballot with crayon because God knows how they got a crayon into the frickin' booth. But they did. They voted for both parties at the same time, and then the one under it was valid. Do we throw this ballot out or do we not? And the Supreme Court had to step in, and we didn't know who the hell was president for like a month. It was a shitstorm, and it could have went either way. Unsurprisingly, the sitting president does not want that to happen, and also almost every voter fraud case ever on any kind of scale was absentee ballots which are in the mail, because duh, if you show up to the polling place with your face and then show a face ID, that's a little better than signature, I'm this person, stamp on it, mail it. You'd have to be some kind of idiot if you think that doesn't open it up to fraud. So he doesn't want that to happen, but the way he's going about it is just completely ruining the entire post office. Or the entire US postal system, the entire network. And then the other thing to remember is I heard all about this when it happened. Remember when, well, I'm not going to call them protesters because I'm not an idiot. When insurgents, is that a little too spicy? We'll say rioters. Let's settle in the middle. Peaceful rioting protesters who want to overthrow the U.S. government and have said so publicly, like right into a mic on their phone while sipping a Starbucks coffee and talking about how much they hate capitalism. They decided to burn down at least one post office, and I want to say like a second one, and maybe even a third one. They were, if it's government, if it's federal, they're going to burn it down, because even though they're anti-gun, they're going to overthrow the government with their Starbucks coffee. Maybe they're going to throw it in their face? Oh, and laser pointers and fireworks. Don't forget that. They got better shit than that in Somalia, you dumbasses. But anyway, these people don't have a brain cell between them. So, I heard about when the post office was torched, like the next day, all over like my comment section, subreddits about magic, Facebook groups, my Discord server. People were like, I had a buy list going out, an order, and it was at that thing. And now it's 4 days later or whatever, and the tracking hasn't been updated. Oh, shit. I've heard rumors that mail trucks are getting attacked just because they're federal. I mean, these people are that stupid. Like, they literally have on camera, like, some guy pulling out a gun, firing 3 shots at a police officer, and then the police officer pulls out his gun and shoots him in the head, and they're like, they shot that man unnecessarily! And then they riot outside their house and try to vandalize their house. Like, that's the level of intelligence of these people. So, of course they're attacking mail trucks. I mean, why wouldn't they? And burning post offices, that makes sense. It's not, 100% affecting small businesses and random people who just want to get their damn mail. So, I mean, as unlikely as it is, at any time your package could be attacked by crazy people, and it's getting worse, and nobody wants to crack down on it until after the election because of the whole, Obama drone striked a guy who left America and joined ISIS, but technically was still a U.S. citizen fiasco. And that was almost bipartisan. Both sides were like, you probably should due process them and capture them, bring them to court here because they're a U.S. citizen and that's part of the Bill of Rights or whatever. It's all that habeas corpus and, first 10 amendments shit. If joining ISIS and saying death to America isn't renouncing your U.S. citizenship, I don't know what is. Now, legally, you have to fill out a form, very ironically pay a fee, and then prove that you have another citizenship granted to fall back on, then you're allowed to renounce your U.S. citizenship. So legally, it's a different story. But if you're like, I want to destroy America, well, then a drone drops a Hellfire missile on your head. Like, get over it, you deserved it. I 100% supported Obama on that, and I hate the guy. So anyway, Trump isn't going to call in the National Guard to start just going hard on these rioters until after the election, because it might make him look bad that some of the swing people will be like, I think the federal government, just kidding, I mean Trump literally personally, went a little far on this. That's some 1984 shit that, they're basically insurgents who said they want to replace the government with socialists and they're attacking anybody federal anything. But we're going to wait till after the election to absolutely demolish these people, which actually I'm going to get some popcorn for that shit. So that's why the rioting and the attacks on federal buildings, including the post office, are going to continue until November and probably a little bit afterwards when they hear the result, because Trump's going to win 60+% of the popular vote. Because these rioters and a bunch of extremist governors just showed how batshit crazy and what utter hypocrites and liars they are, and now everybody's flipping. Even traditional old school liberals are flipping to the Republican side, which is hilarious to me. Some of them haven't flipped to the Republican side, they just flipped to Trump's side, which is even funnier to me. But at the end of the day, basically, you aren't going to be able to send shit reliably through the U.S. Postal mail for sure until 2021. So that's like the super high level look at it. Gee, I totally avoided getting political on that one again, too. Ain't even politics at this point. It's calling a spade and cutting through the bullshit and lies. So you might think, oh, this is alarmist. This is nonsense. You're just putting those videos to scare people. Let me pull up my eBay right now. Okay, here we go. This I sent with FedEx, already still delayed a day. Oh, no, they moved it back again. Okay, well, the fact that they're moving around the delivery date and this is 2-day overnight, that's an oxymoron. 2-day air. That's kind of concerning. This one showed up on time, actually. I got this from Texas. It was here in 2 days, okay? This showed up a day late. And this is all August, by the way. This showed up 2 days late. This just showed up today. I don't remember how many days late that is, but I know they shipped it out a day late, so there's that. It might actually only be a day late then, but let's see. This next shipment, that was delayed 2 days. It showed up 2 days late. That part I needed for my rifle was 3 days late, and I was absolutely livid about that because I wanted to sight it in and I had a time to do it. And it was shipped on time. It sat there at a hub for 3 days for who knows what reason. I mean, if you watch this video, you know the reason. The narrative coming out from the high level managers in the U.S. Postal Service is, we just have packages sitting here and it says 5 o'clock, go home. And that's it. They just sit there. They don't get sorted. They don't get delayed. And the piles are growing bigger. It opens it up to theft. It opens it up to any kind of fraud. It opens it up to just I wouldn't say exponential delays, but delays that, well, the opposite, linearly get worse. It's all because Trump's afraid of fraudulent ballots, as well he should be. But, I mean, this ain't how you fix it. I don't have a better idea, but screwing with all my orders that I need to run my business are not helping. So just in order. Well, this next one's a lithium battery. That's a complete shit show because you got to put a sticker on it that says don't put it on an airplane, and God knows when that's going to show up. Even 6 months ago, who knows when that's going to show up. But this one was lost in Virginia for 7 days. And it's now in Pennsylvania. I live in Wisconsin, so why the fuck is it in Pennsylvania? It was finally updated today after it sat in Virginia for 7 days with no tracking update whatsoever. And ironically, this is the one that I just ordered with FedEx with 2-day overnight. It's like a 3-inch by 3-inch thing that weighs half an ounce, but we needed to fix some medical equipment at my friend's medical place. And I'm one of the few people who knows how to fix it, so they brought me in, and we can't get this simple ass part here. Oh, and I paid for expedited shipping on this. That's nice. They really expedited it as they left it sit there, but if they're not allowed to work overtime, it's going to sit there. It doesn't matter what I paid, does it? So yeah, your magic shipments might show up late, but they might not show up at all. Like, I've had a lot of stuff just straight up go missing in July. And that's before a lot of this kind of kicked off, but it was more like COVID, staffing shortages kind of things. So rioters attacking federal properties. Then you've got delays because of staffing issues imposed by Trump that are not going to go away until the election. And then you got the cost-cutting measures to try and make it look like he made the post office profitable, even though that's impossible. Between the three, you ain't going to get shit on time. I wouldn't count on it. So if you're a buyer or if you're a seller, especially if you're a seller, I would offer/look for FedEx as a carrier. I mean, they have these flat rate envelopes. You can fit a lot of cards in them, double plate cardboard, protect them, whatever. It's like a couple bucks more, and honestly, as a seller with over 5,000 feedback and I've sold $250,000 worth of cards on eBay, I am absolutely sick of people ordering one freaking card. Because now, these days, with zone-based first class, don't even get me started on that, because it was Amazon's fault and there was a lawsuit. At the end of the day, yay, now Desolator's business costs more to operate and the margins just went up. Thanks. But anyway, yeah, it's zone-based, so it's like $4 to send a $10 card. Well, that's a 40% loss. I can't do that. I might as well just buy list it for a 40% edge. But when people order like a $200 order, like their entire deck from me, including commons and uncommons, everything, okay, I mean, then I'll drop, $6 to send it to you. That's the tiny percent. So if you start charging actual shipping or remove US Postal as an option, or just add FedEx as an option with a note about why you would recommend them doing FedEx and how the US Postal Service is losing stuff left and right, and then don't mention that eBay's official policy is that if it gets lost, you're the seller's problem and you have to refund it anyway. FYI, that's their policy. Then, yeah, people might start sending to FedEx. I haven't heard anything about FedEx getting delays at all. And I should know. I still know people who work there because I used to work there. The problem is, though, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to charge $3 more and it's just flat, whatever, this is what it is. Because unlike the US Postal Service, if somebody lives in the middle of Chicago, it's going to be really cheap to put it there because they have a lot of infrastructure and that's where it flies in. That's where the hubs are. That's where the semis are. But they live out in some little 5,000 person city out in, who knows where, Illinois or whatever, outside of Chicago. It's going to cost way more. In my experience, that's what the pricing has been. I don't use FedEx that often because they have to now drive it to that city and then deliver it. More staff hours, it's more expensive, it's more fuel, and they're contractors anyway. So it's like they're not going to take that route unless the route pays enough to be profitable because they don't work the job to lose money. Are you kidding me? So you can't just have the company eat it. Like, they are all independent contractors that deliver for FedEx. I don't know if you knew that or not. So everywhere they deliver has to be worth their while. You know what I mean? So, like, if you sell on eBay, I would have it charge exactly what it actually really costs to deliver there. And people who live in bad areas really far away from you or in really rural areas, oh, well, they're just going to see the price and be like, $15 shipping, that's ridiculous. And then not order from you at all. Oh, well, I mean, good for them. You got to watch out for number one. You got to watch out for yourself and cover your ass. You can't be losing money on this shit. Now, the thing is with eBay, not only does everybody use first class because it's, the cheapest and most efficient anyway, and magic cards typically cost under £1, and £1 is the limit for first class normally, not to mention the size restriction, eBay has an exclusive agreement with Pitney Bowes, which has an exclusive agreement with the US Postal Service to be like 19% cheaper, like than the already cheaper prices. So everybody on eBay uses the US Postal Service for card shipments. I've never seen anybody even offer anything else, but you might want to consider it, both as a buyer and as a seller. Otherwise, like I said, it might not get there. So that's just the fair warning. It's going to be this way for a while, and if anything gets delayed with like a different carrier, bad weather or COVID-19 outbreak at the sorting hub, I mean, other than that, they're keeping it rolling. Because unlike a governmental service, they have actual standards. And don't ship with UPS, they're awful. What can Brown do for you? Nothing. Overcharge you and lose your shit. I hate them. There's a damn good reason Amazon and Newegg don't use them. And they're the two largest retailers in the US, not counting eBay. I just realized natively in the API, eBay doesn't use them either. So, I mean, my recommendation at the end of the day would be, hello, you can't play with anyone right now, really. Like, you shouldn't be at least playing in large groups that you don't need to, one-on-one at your friend's house, whatever, live your life. But, getting together with 20, 30 people when you don't need to and COVID's a thing, not very smart. And all structured play in North America is completely gone right now. It is not being held. So, Instead of buying cards, I would buy some like emergency preparedness stuff, some self-defense stuff, some food, some, tools, just, normal prepper stuff. Speaking of that, great segue. I'm starting basically a prepper channel. That's not what I'm going to call it when I get there, because I don't want YouTube and their biased political bullshit to bury it. But yeah, I got equipment, I got gear to show off, I got scripts. We're going to launch this shit next week. So watch for that. I'll let you guys know. It will be crucially important information that you will probably need very shortly. Things are going to get a lot worse in 2020. Oh, in America. By the way, this whole video is for America, but if you're outside America and you buy cards from America, it almost definitely goes through the US Postal Service. Probably should have said that at the beginning. Anyway, I got to get to bed because tomorrow you know what? I'm going to be like 5 minutes from Jeremy's house. I should probably text him and be like, hey, you want to make the world's shortest notice collab again? But yeah, I gotta drive a long ass way tomorrow, so I'm out here. I'm gonna go edit this shit. Yay, I don't have any footage to put behind it, so I have to film it now. Yay. I would bet you I put up a static image on this. So anyway, thanks for watching. Watch for my new channel and possibly a collab with Jeremy, and I'll see you guys next video.